Hey guys, very excited. Right now I'm on my brand new camera. Hopefully it's a little better than what I've been using. Um, and yeah, very excited to get videos going on this thing. Um, and talk a lot about these guys. So yeah, here comes the video. Hello YouTube channel, part 2 is here. Part 1's already up. We talked about equipment, we talked about the core. Now it's time for the more exciting stuff. We're going to talk about what fish are in this 55-gallon tank. Wearing a perfect shirt for the occasion. I don't know if you guys can see that. I work hard so my fish can have a better life. Shout out to my friend, got it for me as a funny birthday present. And unfortunately it's funny because of how accurate it is. Put a lot of time and energy into my pets here, and the reward is more than justifies it. So thank you, shout out to them for the funny gift. Um, and I thought perfect occasion showed off to the channel, talking about my fish. So yeah, I'm gonna give you guys a basic rundown of each fish. I'm not gonna get too into detail because eventually I want to do or pretty soon actually. I want to do a video, like a species video for maybe not each and every one, just the important ones. Well, I'm sorry if you're not included. In case my fish are checking out my channel and they don't get their own species video. You know what? I'll try to get all of them. I want to make it. I want to make a pretty good video, so I might not get to all of them, but all the all the stuff that you know you don't quite see very often, like some of the more advanced fish in here, some of the more like non-beginner type fish. I'll definitely be getting more in depth, and after those videos, I'll go back. I'll shoot some stuff on the more beginners type fish, in case I have beginner fish keepers watching my channel. Welcome to the hobby. I'll put those up so they know the rundown on some of the more basic fish that I have in here. But a lot of species in here, a lot of very cool ones. So yeah, I'll be doing species videos on them. So this video, I don't want to waste much time. I just want to run through just a basic stock list. Might say a couple notes on each species, but actually, I know you guys are tired of hearing me talk, so actually I'm gonna pick up the camera. You guys are gonna get a nice close-up view for this video. Let me just get this situated. There we go. Alright. So here we go, 55-gallon tank stocking list. First thing, biggest fish in here, fancy goldfish. Big question mark because yeah, tropical tank, 79 degrees, goldfish, cold water fish. Obviously a problem, obviously very frowned upon. And all I have to say about that is it was a bit of a rescue mission from its previous conditions. I'm happy to say that unfortunately it probably wouldn't be alive today if it was left in those conditions. I don't want to dive too deep into that, but obviously the temperature isn't ideal, but I know the fish is still in good health. He eats well. He's definitely still growing, which is very impressive. Not many people even know goldfish get this size because they put them in a goldfish bowl and then they die in that order very quickly. But he's eating well, he's growing well, and he never gets sick. Even with the other sick fish in the tank, I've never had any disease issues with him. So I'm pretty happy. It's worked out well. He's holding up in the higher temperatures well. He's getting along with other fish. So no complaints. I'm glad at least I could extend his lifespan from his previous circumstances. So, alright, so that's all I'm going to say about him for now. Next up, schooling fish. Got a few kinds. First I want to talk about giant Danios and Congo tetras. Alright, so giant Danios, nice big schooling fish, get about 4.5, 5 inches. Keep them with larger cichlids if you want. They're extremely active, and so often larger cichlids, if they're even large enough to eat them, they often get bored of even trying because they just can't catch them. So yeah, adds great activity to a cichlid tank. Congo tetras, this is a male right here, and that back there is the female. Obviously, almost look like two completely different species. The main attraction to these fish is the males, that beautiful orange stripe, and those amazing long streamers coming from the fins. Oh yeah, there's some action right in front of the camera. Again, that's what the female looks like, pretty basic, but these are full grown, about 2.5, 3 inches. Obviously, if you count the fins on the male, obviously a little longer, but great, beautiful fish. One of my potential plans for the future is if I open up some space in here, do a Congo tetra tank. You know, they run a higher price because of their features, because of that beautiful those beautiful fins they have. But you know, definitely if you get a proper school, very good looking fish. Next up, schooling fish, we got boesemani rainbows, or Bozeman's rainbows, and we got Denisoni barbs. So I want to talk about these together. So both of these have growth potential. I know the light's off, but growth potential to potentially get themselves a spot in the 120. So Denison's barb, aka the Roseline-tip sharks, there's 4 of them. That one's filling out nicely. That's a good example. That one too. And the boesemani rainbows, there's one. Let's see. Oh, there's a little guy right there. That's the smallest rainbow, and then there's the other. So basically, boesemani rainbows get about 4.5 inches, and they also get quite tall too. Their bodies are more football shaped, so don't have to worry about them getting eaten. And they're very active, so don't have to worry about being bullied. So yeah, those might end up in there. They get beautiful colors, neon yellow, neon blue. Definitely an exciting, colorful pop to the tank. Denisoni barbs as well, with those red facial marks and the yellow stripes on the tail. Those get about 5, 6 inches each, and so a nice school of those might look nice in there. I haven't decided on if that's happening or not, but you know, definitely a possibility due to their size. Next for schooling fish, I guess we can consider these guys. You know, we got some corridors in here. There's a few back there, but yeah, we got some emerald corridors. I believe there's 5 of them. They get a little bigger than the typical corridora. You know, they like activity. Definitely like larger schools. You know, if you can keep them in a proper school, definitely you know, be a lot happier, and they'll take care of your tank well. If you have a smaller tank, you know, if you have like something like a 20 or a 30, I can't name you one better fish for just keeping the tank clean. You know, the bottom, that's all they do all day, is just constantly searching for food, cleaning up the bottom of the tank, looking for scraps. So definitely a great fish. You know, there's a million different kinds of these cories. They all stay small, and all like to be in groups. Next up for schooling fish, we got coolie loaches in here. There's a few, but they don't come out until nighttime. The tank lights are off. They come out at night, scrap for food. Very cool fish. They get about 4 inches. Kind of snake-like appearance, a little worm almost, but snake-like patterns. Very peaceful. Don't bother anyone. They don't eat snails like other loaches, but again, pretty shy. Only come out at night and occasionally during the day. It's very rare, but I do have some videos of that happening. But yeah, there's a few of them in here. Those are from my 10-gallon planted tank that I have since taken down. That's it for schooling fish. Next we got golden wonder killifish. Absolutely beautiful killifish. Not your typical killifish. You know, most killifish get about, live to about a year, reproduce, and then they die. And they only get to about 1 or 2 inches. These guys are a bit of an exception. They live about 4 years, and they can grow to about 4.5 inches. And so that gets to a pretty impressive topwater fish. They just chill at the top, like a typical predator, think like a pike or a gar, except in a much smaller little scale. And definitely beautiful colors. The bright yellows and the red tips on the fins. Golden wonder killifish, highly suggest. Will eat very small fish though. Have seen it firsthand. We're talking cardinal tetras, small cherry barbs, Danios, zebra Danios. They will eat them. That's the only negative to them, as they are a predator. But you got a community tank with anything larger than a cardinal or neon tetra, then you are golden to have one of these. They only need maybe a 20-gallon tank at the least. Very beautiful, and they do have interesting mating behavior. So you can get a male and female. Females lack the colors. That's the easiest way to tell. Next up for fish, we got a couple gouramis. We got a pearl gourami back there. Definitely a very peaceful gourami, not your typical one. They don't mind other gouramis. Hello. Hi. Yep, you already had your turn. They don't mind other gouramis at all. Very peaceful with all fish, actually, and get nice patterns. And they only get about 4 inches. Other gourami we have in here is the kissing gourami. There are two of them. There's one. There's two. This one's obviously a lot bigger. And that is another fish that is on the potential suitor list for the 120. And that depends on how the leopard tenopomas, leopard gouramis, in the 120, it all depends on how they react to each other. They're in the gourami family, you never know. But I have had good luck with those tenopomas in the past, so hoping for the best. These do get pretty large. Most people don't know kissing gouramis can get 8, 10, even 12 inches, I've heard. So yeah, definitely very impressive if you get them in the right size tank. I've got a couple cichlids in here. Let's see. There is an apistogramma right here. Apistogramma cactuoides, or the cockatoo cichlid. So you can see that nice flaming red tail. I believe this is a female. The males are even more colorful. He kind of likes that little clam. But great cichlid. Apistogrammas, there's a whole bunch of types. None of them get too big. Perfect for, like a 20 or 30 gallon. You can keep a pair maybe. He came back out. He's just saying hello to that Corey. He keeps coming near his clam. Good personality in a small size, so obviously can't do much damage. But you still get to see that cichlid, attitude in small doses. But keep them. If you want to breed them, definitely very easy fish to breed. The only thing with these fish, they are beginner fish because you can. It's a cichlid that stays small, but only thing is, you got to keep the water quality pristine, and that goes for all fish. But the apistogrammas are definitely a little more sensitive than others. You keep it pristine, they will reward you with beautiful colors, healthy long lives, and great personality in a small fish. The other cichlid in this tank is my electric blue Jack Dempsey. Kicking him out of his area back into Jack Dempsey's area. So this electric blue Jack Dempsey, this species is my #1 favorite species in all of fish keeping, and you guys get a little glimpse of why with those colors you see. Basically, he's coming right up. He wants all the action on the camera. Um, Basically, this fish is my pride and joy. I'll talk a little extra about this one. So I had one before. It grew to full grown, which is very rare for them. They do have some genetic. They have some. They're very sensitive fish. Not many even make it to breeding age, which is why they're so rare in the hobby. But they're a lot. They're a lot more peaceful and don't get as big as the regular Jack Dempseys. Again, it's the same species, but this variation, stays smaller, is more accepting of other fish, other tank mates than the regular Jack Dempsey. And obviously the beautiful colors speak for themselves. Very beautiful cichlid. You just got to be very careful raising them. You can only really buy them as babies. You got to be very careful raising them because they are very sensitive to water quality, disease, stuff like that. Bullying. That's why it's in this tank. In this community tank, it's not quite ready for the big boys yet. When it gets a few inches, this is going to be its home, its kingdom, and he's probably going to be in charge of that tank. But for now, this little guy is growing out, and as they grow they get more and more colors and they get very beautiful. Yeah, no, apistogramma does not like. They basically split the tank in half. This is the apistogramma, that's the Jack Dempsey side. But he's a little mischievous sometimes and he likes to adventure. But yeah, that's all. Again, #1 favorite fish, which brings me to my #2 favorite fish in all of fish keeping. And it's one of the surprises I mentioned in last video. He usually lives in this clam and never leaves, but lucky for us, he came out. If you see there, that is a black ghost knifefish. Let's get a nice shot right here. Oh yeah, great footage. I'm very happy he came out for the camera. He knew it was his time to shine. Black ghost knifefish, second favorite fish in the entire hobby. One of the weirdest creatures on planet Earth. And that's kind of why they're one of my favorites. Having a fish like this, and I don't even know how you call this thing a fish, but having this thing as your pet, it just creates a whole new appreciation for the outside world and all of its possibilities, with evolution and all that. But yeah, so that's a whole nother story. I could go on for days about this, the black ghost knifefish and the Jack Dempsey, but basically knifefish hangs in there most of the day. It's very cool to watch because you can still watch him through there, but gets to a good size. So this is definitely not a permanent solution. 55 gallon, way too small for a full grown. When he gets to about a foot, they get up to about a foot and a half in captivity. They can get longer in the wild, but once he gets to about a foot and fills out nicely, he's growing nice. He's growing pretty fast, but once he gets to about a foot, I'll be comfortable putting him in with the cichlids, with the big boys, because that's definitely a 120 is definitely the proper home. That is more like it for this fish if you want to see him get to their full potential, which is even more impressive than it is now. Definitely a weird fish, but that's its sort of appeal to me. That's what I like best about it. Just something people have never seen before, and even me, I've kept these fish for a long time. Still amazes me to this day. Only thing is they are pretty sensitive, so that's another fish you gotta be pristine water quality, and you can't have much bullying going on at a young age. So yeah, that was surprise #1. It's a pretty popular fish. It's not so unpopular, but very hard to keep because they're sensitive, because they get big, and at first they are pretty picky with diet. This one, not so much anymore. And so this brings me to my last surprise. I won't keep talking about this guy too much. Just get you one last quick footage of him. Amazing fish. So this brings me to my last surprise. So the knifefish lives in the skull, never really leaves until, you know, nighttime or when he's exploring like he is now. This guy really never leaves. You see this clam, underneath it there's a cave. And at nighttime he'll come out, and if we're lucky maybe we'll see a glimpse of him, but 90% chance not gonna happen. Underneath this clam lives a dragon goby or violet goby, depending on who you ask, but very, very cool, weird fish. It's like an eel type appearance. They are a brackish fish, but lots of research has supported that they do very well in fresh water, very adaptable, not harming their health. So he lives under there, he comes out at night. They have very large teeth, very visible. I gotta get this on footage. The black ghost knifefish is in full hunting mode, just looking for food scraps wherever you can, and I couldn't just not get that on video right there. But anyways, back to this guy, dragon goby. Get to an impressive size, about 1.5 feet, maybe even into the 2 foot range. They have large teeth and pretty large mouths, but they actually don't eat small fish until they get to a bigger size. Basically, the dragon gobies have very small, thin digestive tracts, so what they eat is they use those sharp teeth to scrape algae off of rocks. You know, such a monster fish, such a weird fish, and all those teeth are used for is scraping algae, and its large mouth is used for picking up like a mouthful of gravel, much like the earth eater cichlids do. Sifts through for food, spits out the gravel. So very cool fish, absolutely amazing. I'm very happy I grabbed him after good research to know I'm giving him a proper home. But yeah, he lives in there, never comes out until nighttime. Loves bloodworms too. They don't just eat algae. They love bloodworms, you know, small insect larvae type food, and eventually they will eat pellets. And yeah, no, once they get to a large size, you definitely can't keep them with small fish. They will get the occasional snack out of them. But yeah, so that is it for fish. That was surprise number 2. And I will get footage of all these fish, but definitely of that guy. I have footage of him occasionally coming out during the day. But anyways, you know, that's it for the fish. Stay tuned. There's definitely more content on the way. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for that more content. There's the last look at the black ghost knifefish doing its thing. Absolutely amazing. Look at that. This, I cannot believe this is a fish. You know, I could just go on and on about that. But anyways, I must end the video. Hop in the comments. Any questions, concerns, suggestions, and just tell me what you liked. I don't care. You know, hop in the comments, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you for watching. Bye.